stride in day number 2.
And you can see Pinkin and Nas, they ran right into Tayson and Thomas. And those guys weren't in as much of a hurry, right? Because they were able to get that elimination early on Mirza. And we talked about how that would eventually pay off well for them, and it did right there. They're able to get a couple more. Scram and Escar, though, they went for a couple pre-edit plays, and things seemed to work out. They were able to get a bit of damage. Not necessarily any concrete eliminations out of that one, but the damage is enough to keep them afloat. Vortex and Janice, though, again, this is why I rate them so highly. I just never really see them in trouble. They're so good at getting their surge dealt with, and now they're going to take a bit of a controlled box fight. They're going to feel very comfortable in this situation, and against Lecce and Twillim, who've had their fair share of struggles, this could be a defining moment in their game. This could be the game where they finally wake up. We talk about how they're constantly sleeping giants. They'll hit a couple shots here. Janice will hit some. Vortex will chip in 2, and Lecce and Twillim will be taken out. And again, they won game 1. They've been a bit quiet the past couple games. Will this be the one where they start to get loud again?
They need to have 2 hit singles in a day. They keep just dropping 1 banger plus a mediocre album. They really need to start to level up, and this has to be that side B we all love to watch right now. Karma and Bubak, they started all of the carnage off. First elimination on that zone. Thomas, HD, and Tayson, they were the ones that took down a Nos, and it looked just so good. Look at Thomas. Look at the confidence. Stride back and forth. That's what we like to see.
Brings a smile to my face. Seen him in his element there. Hope to see that for many more years to come. Clown and Grolski chilling, positioned in zone now. The vehicle was able to just get them in here. This isn't a bad position as well. They're relatively elevated, which means they have some lines of sight on some of their other teams. You can see Clown taking some shots towards Teak, who isn't quite in yet. That's one of the benefits of just sitting in a high elevation, right? You have more view. DKS, the only view he has is the one of Bad Sniper, because he gets taken out, and Bad Sniper, all he can see is enemies in front of him in his pathway to zone. Deceptus and Kinzel will not let him go easily. Again, another example of 2 teams from Tilted interacting. Nowhere near Tilted, though. These guys are bound to each other.
Literal elastic bands around the ankles of every player that lands over at Tilted Towers. And it snaps back. It hurts hard. Only 1 duo really ends up walking out past the mid game. This time it'll be Kilzel and Deceptos to see exactly what they can do. There is a Psycho Clown in this box right now, and everyone is scared. They do not want to be a part of this surprise party. Roll's already down, and this is exactly also what Hen and Queasy need. This duo on your screen to get erased before that 5th zone comes in. 43 seconds, Clown has to survive. Guaranteed they'll find possibly a little more placement the longer he stays alive in all these boxes. But once again, 800 mats. He's gonna have to just expend all of them to stay away from the hunt of the duo above.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at how they're even in this kind of a position, right? They had nearly max materials, it seemed. And so even if they were, you know, in a bit of a pickle, I'd expect them to sort of commit their mats to guarantee their safety as a duo to stay alive. But Groves will go down. Clown now as a solo, and even if he isn't initially taken out, for him to solo clutch will be very difficult, but he has to, right? The longer he stays in the game, the better it is for his chances in the FNCS, because if he goes down early, it just allows Queasy and Hen to start to build up even more of a lead, tarnishing all the hard work they put in so far.
Absolutely tarnished, and right now Clown is just maidenless for the moment. Only just has a car, no duo to be by his side. 110 above surge, but I would imagine the entire map is like this. Random builds all around, boxes built up because it was a 30-person surge. No, so many duos split apart, but look at Clown, Honey down. This is nuts. No duo should be allowed to just have a free elim like that. He has the track. Ing just online 24/7, and that just looks so good from him. He's gonna go straight towards Swifty as well. Look at the coolness of that slide. He gets the shield down. This man is in a 1v2, and he's making it look easy.
What a brilliant understanding of angles, right? He's one of the players who is struggling to make his way into zone. There's a bunch of teams holding him in, but he puts himself in between Swifty and the players in the zone, and that allows him to just get some shots off. They're more worried about the teams holding them in from in front, and so he was able to just sneak in slightly behind. But that's all good and well, because even if he does deal with Swifty, he still has to deal with the players in zone holding him. And that's a much more difficult task. He barely is able to get in. but that next rotation is going to be even more difficult, Shayo. The medkit coming off is all good and well, but this is just going to be such a mountain to climb. Is he going to be burned as well? Oh my goodness, he can't catch a break right now.
The ground is going to be converted into suit right below him. It's all good. I'm looking at who else is alive and what trades are going down between all sides. You have to understand, with that 30-person surge, once it ends, the effect of it doesn't. You might have one duo down. You might have a position you didn't want to be in because you have to push a team and now you don't know what to do with it. So many people are caught in random crossroads. I think Joe and Vino were one of them. They're still having trades. Liza and Mirza were the ones to try to take them head on. I think they went down and Joe has to go for a reboot, or at least a revive. And Queasy are on something that shouldn't be built or allowed in this zone. And Queasy is hitting shots that Hen should be hitting right now. Both these teammates are just in sync at the moment in one of the best spots in the game. Look at all the damage they're dealing to, just controlling the lobby. No one even near this amalgamation of a build. Thomas HD Tayson, very different from their sides though. Third place.
Yeah, this has to be a really good game for Queasy and Hen. They're positioned so well up above. And it just means you have so many options. No matter where the 6th zone will pull towards, they'll be able to get there with a relatively clear pathway, or at least the vision of where that clean pathway is. Tayson and Thomas maybe not necessarily having those same level of options, but they have the launch pads, which obviously will give massive benefit as they move forward in this game. But it's all about the next 10 seconds where that zone pulls. You can see the launch pad being dropped now as well to Tayson. Thomas trusts him completely with the sole direction of where they go. But Cammy has nobody to trust. He has to just trust his own instincts. Gets the wall, couple shots, PKR and Mappy backs against it. And this is actually a great opportunity for Cammy to maybe pick up some elimination. He hasn't got shield, so the siphon will go a long way. But he's got to be careful that he doesn't overextend, and that's nice. The mini. 25 HP, it will help. Doesn't get the elimination on Mappy. Ooh,
he didn't have a bullet!
Wow.
Oh. So close. That would have been huge for him too. Being able to navigate on that right side, maybe even take over that Tarp Cammy. A game of inches. And right now for the entire server, that's basically what it is. Trying to come back after the disastrous surge we had at the start of this. Cammy obviously just left by himself. A bunch of other people maybe left with less mats, left with less ammo. For one team, the story is different. Second place is basically down. For Hen and Queasy, all they have to do is try to push this lead as far as possible. They're starting high ground on the 5th zone, and they're looking to keep it for the moment. Frack is going to be denied a chance at being a little bit of a retake warrior or a nuisance to everyone. He's going to be chilling. I thought Thomas was going to land on that tarp, but he's not either. He pushes all the way towards the front. Who can stop Hen and Queasy inside this game?
They've done such a great job of diverting all the teams who padded, all the teams who maybe would have looked to hide. You look at all them names, so many of them you would usually think would look to try take it, but none of them could. Queasy and Hen hit the crucial shots to just divert them away. Cammy, though, in the back of the zone in the top right, almost giving up there, just standing still.
This is going to be so dangerous, though. Janice, Reason, Putrick, Toos, and Thomas HD are all the players on second height. Reason and Medil are not letting them down, and I see Aqua, too, in the mix. Every top team that loves the high ground is getting in position to take it away from Hen and Queasy. You look at the front side of the zone as well. Trulex and Chico are watching for a wave. Janice now is moving up for it. Vortex on the other side is also trying to climb towards the top. Thomas HD and Tayson will move here, but I'm wondering exactly what's happening at height. They might be those third takers that move forward. Here we go. Janice and Vortex do take it for now. Hen and Queasy maybe overindulged in the mats it takes to hold that position, and they have to give it up.
The sleeping giants have arisen. They have high ground, but will they be able to hold it? We know that they have that ability. Still so many titans below them, and so they need to make sure they prioritize who it is that they are spraying, who it is that they apply the pressure to, and that's a perfect start from Vortex. Chico and Trulex shut down.
Reason joins the battle. He's moving forward. Vino also down. Trulex goes away to two. Refsguard and Scram. They're going to make sure mid-ground is theirs, but it's Karma and Bubak, two statues who won't move. We're going to be in the way, so Refsguard actually goes towards a completely different art gallery. The left side is going to be a lot more about nature, a lot more about builds that are not placed down just yet. Hen and Queasy, though, lost inside. Second high ground for now, or second height completely. Toos is still finding a bit more in the feed. Bubak stops Kinzel inside the mid-ground. Meanwhile, Kirashi Stormright also active. This is 5th place that is still in the game and can look to catch up.
And they've done such a great job, right? While all the chaos was going on above, they've really been one of the few teams to actually have some control on low ground. And so now, whilst the Shambles teams look to drop down, they will hold it and they will have opportunities for more limbs.
Loss of control on height. Meanwhile, Thomas AC goes for the chase towards mid. Their box though has been overtaken, so he is going to be having to vacate from home. Doesn't matter. Rid of all the guests. Thomas is insane with the damage. He lands 6 different shots and they all hit hard. The beam is there to follow as well. No ammunition. It doesn't matter. Thomas AC with the moves. Vidil and Reason down. Janice gone as well. He's taken out every single big name and he goes down, but that's 8 fat eliminations under his belt in the feed.
How does Thomas continue to do so many things that just blow my mind? And he has a teammate that can do the same. Tayson will connect with Malibuka. He gets the elimination. That's the HP he needs and the time as well. The separation to get the minis off. These two have no limits, no bound. They will continue to impress and they sit in first place.
They looked at the leaderboard and they wanted every single elimination inside that top 10. 4 teams now left and Tayson is a part of the mix. You have to be careful. Give him an inch. He'll take a victory royale. Moving in low HP, has a chance to pop a mini. It looks good. Reason's the one who's all the way up top by himself as well. It'll be a solo brawl and he drops first. Reason's there with the beam. Tayson denied access to the endgame, denied access to the clutch. Reason might take the entire power of him though and be able to use that clutch factor for his own. They've gotten 1 win so far today. Can they do it again? Gabix is down here as well. You're actually storming right towards the low ground. All Reason wants is these 2 teams to fight and then maybe drop down in the heat of the night, maybe take away that VR for free.
Yeah, Kiriachi and Stormy, they need to stay composed. They've done brilliantly to keep control on low ground. It's been a tough battle. And even with all the chances they've had, they still run out of mats. And no, Gabix will get down. Shmeki also will be gone. And Reason now has a chance to sneak his way in. But will Kiriachi and Stormy be on point? Reason dropping down. We've seen him clutch before, but can he do this 2v1? Is it too much of a mountain for him to climb? He connects with another shot there. Reason needs to be careful. He's the only one in the zone, but the time is ticking.
He has a little bit of a delay, lots of space to work with, and a few more mats. Kiriachi down to the zone, 1v1 for Reason right now. Stormy right down to the low ground. He has a lot of control of all those low builds, but Reason has a lot of say in this fight. 1 tree farmed as well. Stormy right with the med mist. They'll be looking good for now, but it's going down to the road. No more nature to be able to work with. Reason drops down onto the concrete, looking for the first shot, but it's denied from builds from Stormy right. It's a 1v1. He's backside in the zone, maybe looking for a chance to take over at height, a different angle. Reason sees it coming, builds here, and now Stormy right has the high ground. It's flipped on sides. He has no builds to work with, and that costs a lot of his HP. Reason with the final shot. Is this real? Not just yet. The spray is there, and it's good. Reason and Vidil, 2 wins. Kneel to this duo.
How does he continue to do it? No matter the mode, no matter the season, no matter the FNTS, Reason will clutch up as a solo. He does it time and time again. He never disappoints, and they deliver on another victory. Reason and Vidil are on one right now.
It's just crazy, and they're the ones to take down Tayson and Thomas, who stole away so many points from that endgame as well. Remember how this all started, 2-11, right? Hen and Queasy were the ones in first, up top on the high ground. Thomas HD ate everyone, and then Reason makes a clutch happen against 2 duos. It should not be allowed, but that's what happens when we reach game 10. That's what happens inside the finals.
Yeah, we talked about how these guys, when they don't have to deal with Surge, great things can happen. They were able to get through the earlier mid-game, and when given a chance in the end game, like you said, give them an inch, they can take a victory royale, and that's exactly what they did. Desk, oh my goodness, this is starting to get intense. Please, I need a moment. Break it all down for us, boys.
Levin, do you think that I'm not panicking? Do you think that I'm not freaking out right now? Okay, I'm in the back. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. What day is it? What time is it? Where are we? Is this EU? Is this NA East? Is this NA West? I don't even know where we're at anymore. My goodness, I cannot believe the day 2 team of Reason and Vidil. They have come online, Boop. They have taken every experience that has led them here to finals. They have manifested wings, and now beneath those wings rises the current that helps them rise up the standings, baby.
There we are. I think he's managed to disappear. He's so impressed by what we've just seen. He's gone. But in all honesty, look, the best players pop off when it matters. I feel like in that game, we saw every single stereotype you could think about EU. We saw a Thomas HD incredible pop off, a Tayson being the best player, Kiriachi and Stormy right deep in the end game, and an incredible victory royale, of course, from Reason. Looking at the leaderboards right here, that's actually pushed Reason Vidil up into 10th right now. So 199 points for them at this point. Julius and Chico still staying there. Look at the top 3, top 4, top 5. We've got 2 more games remaining, and these are the kind of teams who are consistently getting to every single end game in day number 2.
Sorry about the guys. That game had me petrified. Oh my goodness. I was under a spell. I was locked up. Yeah. I was terrified. I don't know what I just saw from Thomas and Tayson, but Reason, I was going to say, Reason is one of those players you can just always rely on to clutch. My man has that gene inside of him. He is ridiculous. And, you know, they're coming back, you know, finally, in West Side zone now, so Video can't even complain about the zones because they did win on that left side as well.
Man, just look at this, though. Like, I know the big victory came out from Reason, but Thomas HD alongside Tayson are the highlight players. When we saw Thomas HD go down into the back of zone this moment right here, just the eliminated bar just wouldn't even leave. It just kept popping up. Knocked, eliminated, knocked, eliminated. This is why you get a guy like this on your team. Someone who has the best aim in the region, if not the best aim in the world. He doesn't need builds because he gets 5 eliminations just hitting every shot.
How does he do it? And that was the most eliminations we've seen in a final in EU at 11. I think before that prior, it was Curious and Stormer who had 10 in the Victory Yao yesterday. So, I mean, just by himself, Thomas with 8 eliminations. Like, who can stop this guy?
Well, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to the next 2 games at the same time. But similarly with Tayson, right? We've seen a huge clutch from him. At the same time with Thomas HD popping off. This is what top-level FNCS championship teams are made up of. FNCS champion quality players from solos, from duos, from trios. It does not matter what it is. These are the plays that win you tournaments.
And I just got to jump in, Boop, because now you know what's happening.
Yep.
It's me and you versus Reese, Levin, and Shy Wager. Right now, who would have thought that we could have scripted it? I mean, guess it. No, this is a complete fluke. I cannot believe this is happening. But Reese, you're right. 2 games left, right? And anything can still happen. Anything can still go wrong for any number of duos. But I love how they're capable of just saying, whatever's going to go wrong, no. We're going to minimize that as much as possible, man, because we're going to make it to that end game, and then you're going to have to deal with us.
I think one of the important things to note here is like a 9 elimination victory out. Well, I'll just say 10 just to make math easy. 62 points, right? So for any team who's still in 10th place, like there's a huge potential for them still to win if those top teams go down early and they can capitalize on that.
I'm stressed, boys. I'm so stressed. We only have 2 games left to go. For everyone watching in Legends Landing, you guys got to use your favorite emotes. If you've not checked out Legends Landing, swing by. Drops are enabled. But right now, we're about to drop into this next game. My little heart can't take it. Shy Wager 11, please help.
Hey, so someone help us first, right? This is a 2-way tie, first place, 265 points, with 2 teams with very different agendas, Levin, different ways they play the game entirely.
I don't know why Zeke's trying to act like it isn't rigged, right? All the zones going towards Covert as well. Something's going on here. Now, look, on a serious note, right, this is really starting to get hot, right? In terms of just some of the things lower down in the leaderboard, even how these things are developing, right? Benji and Savage fans, I know they're probably getting a bit quiet now. It hasn't been quite the best day for these guys, but when you look up above on that leaderboard, the battle for first place now, this is what it's all about. This is what we've wanted all season long, and we're finally getting it.
Might not have it this game. EU has a little bit of a consistency, broken pattern, so to speak. Every second last game, the top 7, the top 10 disappear. It becomes a game for everyone else to catch up. It's happened almost every single FNCS. For this penultimate game, what will be the result? Find out right now.
Game 11, where everything really starts to set up for that final game. Stakes are being set. Players' dreams are being made. There's some players' dreams who are being crushed. Grows, Clown, they've done so well up to this point. In the past couple games, these battles off spawn just haven't been so clean. But will they turn that around now against Zeston and Hookah? Clown above has a shotgun to his name, but not much HP to work with. The medkit will come out. His teammate will drop him a mini. And Hookah and Zeston will cower behind this wall as Grows looks to get on the aggressive.
Grows has to basically be that fence that separates any type of aggression from their opponent's share of this POI. The moment he stops applying pressure and slows down, the moment he doesn't punish any type of peek or shots, that's where power kind of shifts over towards Hookah and Zeston. They're going to be higher on shields overall, a little bit more mass to deal with being inside the entire base for the moment. Clown and Girls have to actually be a little bit more split apart while they loot up. Could be an opportunity for Hookah and Zestin to peek out and land a shot. But you see what Clown is doing, actually making a literal offense, just having a perimeter to be able to be active so these guys don't have a free way out of this POI. They're peeking up and in as well. Hookah finally going up for one of the shots. Huge ramifications if Grows does go down. They have one of the first shield cracks. Zestin's also still on the wall. Okay, Grows clapping right back. It's not enough. He goes down. Unfortunately, all left up to Clown. He has a little bit of a beam, but Zestin actually ends up surviving. This is going to be tough. Is it a 1v1? Yes, it is. Zestin has to go for a little bit of a shot. Clown now full HP, has a few mats to deal with as well. Going straight towards the skies with this one. A little bit of a cone slide coming in, so no access to a little bit of the elevation from that side. Clown has a little bit of an opening. Yes, he follows it. I like the fact that he chases that cone that he placed up top, and now he knows there's no bills on the side of Zestin. Nice jump up and good breakdown. For some reason, these guys are surviving so far, Levin. Being contested, they're up on the boards, but it's Eddie and Chapix who are collapsing in on this fight now.
Yeah, and I was going to say, this has huge implications if they're able to stay in this one. That's going to be the setup that they sort of need to propel them in this game. But with Seti and Chapix rolling up, he's got to get out of there and quickly, and Clown will do just that. Seti and Chapix missed the window of opportunity, but they will actually connect with the vehicle. They blow that up, and with not many builds, Clown is fortunate that he is right around the corner from a little mini forest here where you can get some wood up, but I don't know if they're going to give up on him now. It doesn't seem like they will. Swifty coming through. Oh, wow. Yeah, catches him right out. That's not the kind of bush you can hide in, my friend.
Not going to be possible. Swifty picks it up. These games are getting a lot faster now off the drop, and it's Bad Sniper who's actually down first. So the classic day one style of moves are coming in from Savage and BenjiFish. Who wins this though? Okay, DKS. You picked that one up. Pick up Bad Sniper as well. Somehow, Benji, for the first engagement, the first Elim, is not going to have enough of a say to actually get his duo out of the way from Tilted. And Benji and Savage are down.
I'll be real, Shy. I think they've lost it. I think they've lost their head in that sense where they just... It's the way they're pushing these fights even, right? They're just so split up in that sense where they're just allowing DKS and Bad Sniper to take these isolated one-on-ones. It's not great at all. They were doing so well yesterday, but it's just not looking too great now. Look, still life-changing money on the line and plenty to play for. So hopefully Benji and Savage can get back into the right sort of mental state to continue. But they need to realize now that as much as they may have had success pushing that fight in previous sessions and days, you don't want to mess with DKS and Bad Sniper anymore. They own Tilted right now.
Got there rolling in with, I guess this is Melody actually the entire time. Cat feet. Not going to be here with Dan. I mean, this is the fight we saw break out multiple times earlier on in day number one. Maybe at the start of everything, but unfortunately neither team really finding too much success from these early game fights.
You talked about how that Shifty fight was so influential and sort of how things were playing out. Not necessarily because the players necessarily at them were the ones dominating the leaderboards, but just the dynamics around that general area of the map and the players coming through, rotating around, their ability to third party and get some tags and just capitalize off of it. But this is a team that's been able to capitalize finally off of the advantage that they've had coming out of Covert. They've had a lot of zones as well in their favor, which will always help. But finally starting to deliver. Thomas looking like the best player in the world in that last endgame.
Yeah, you talk about zones coming to their favor and happening again and again. It seems like in this game, that is the case as well. If you have a chance to see the total zone, that would be great, but I feel like it is above that cavern. I see every single POV pushing towards the left side of the map. Could be good for a Pink and Os comeback as well to figure out what's going on wrong in day number 2 overall. For Jackson and Vico, we saw a little bit of them so far in the first game. We did have one Sanctuary zone, I think, overall, where they had a little bit of control, but lost it quickly. We'll grab a little bit of loot here and there, upgrade up. Looks very nice. One of those mid-game fights we see. I don't think either one of these duos has been too influential other than, like, you know, maybe some of the Surge fights we've seen so far.
Yeah, and in terms of this fight, I definitely think Vico and Jackson have a clear advantage. Of course, they have the elevation on their side, but they are really aware of teams potentially in this general area. That's great. Potentially stops them from getting third party by Schmecky. And they have so much ammo that they can really just sort of pick away at the materials of Kiko and Mosh. Stompy and Judo, just outside of Bugle against Kaizen and Niaizen. And are they just sort of camping it to try to see if they can wait for these guys to come in? I've not seen one of these plays in a while, Shayo. But it looks like Niaizen maybe isn't going to come inside. No. Will he? Oh, I can't watch this, man. I'm looking away. I can't. If they walk in and get taken out, okay, good. Good, they get out. They get out. Wow.
They're right beside each other on the boards as well, so that is an influential fight for them specific, right? 36th, 37th overall. If you talk about prizing, they want to get up a little bit to that top 30 echelon. They get a bump, $1,000 at least per duo. Everyone's trying to hit that top 10 though. That's where you see one of the biggest ones. Everyone outside the top 20 is trying to get into that cash as well. For Lincoln Default, they want to stay in that top 10. 11th place overall right now, and they are having trouble. This is not the duo they were expecting to face off against. Andalex, X-Squeeze moving in and really backing them up against the wall. This is like looking at the edge of the earth type beat right now. I don't know how they're fighting so far down here. Usually Default and Link are so much further in their game state to be away from Chonkers by this point, but this is unfortunate. Default has a little bit of an angle, but it's a total bait from the side of Andalex and Squeeze. They just turn around and beam him down as well. This will wrap up very soon. That could have been a shot that changes the course of the entire fight. We see Letchi and Swilliam rocking as well, so it's all in here, 11. All of Chonkers is going crazy.
Yeah, Default and Link totally off it there, right? Link was such low HP, and you can see because of his HP and the storm ticking down, he wanted to force the issue, get in, but Default had a shield kick, right? You could have just placed it down, slow down the pace, but instead, he rushed it. Then Default misses a key shot, and now look, he's stuck in between two duos with time ticking down. Can't even get the maximum benefit from the shield keg. And so there literally is a timer on how long he can stay in this game. 5, 3, 2, he's gone.
0.
Oh dear. Misplay, and look, as we are in the penultimate game, things are getting really intense, and you'll start to see these tiny errors and mistakes be made, but they really do cost you. They Squeeze though, and Andalex in a fight against Letchi and Swilliam. I'm sure they won't mind taking this fight against these two, but they got to be clinical, they got to execute it well. I believe they have the HP advantage, but okay, now I think Letchi and Swilliam have some chug splashes of their own. There's so many in the south side of the map, like an absurd amount, so not surprised that both teams are carrying those, and it just means that they have a bit extra time to stay in the zone. Letchi and Swilliam though will leave, rightfully so. They've had their fair share of mid-game fights that haven't gone their way, and so Andalex and Squeeze will be able to move on.
What I'm sensing from this game compared to the one right before, frustration, pain, sadness for a bunch of teams. It all amounts to them not being as strategical. Remember, we saw 97 people alive at this point. Everyone was ready with the game plan. And for a majority of teams near the bottom of the board, it seemed like they got a little bit boosted all the way towards the top, right? They had some nice games. They were dealing with Surge in creative ways. But this time, you throw that all into the trash bin. Everyone is back to just being aggressive, going for these storm fights. And that might be good for certain teams that don't do well with maximum pressure. Stormy Right, Kuriachi, yeah, they're adaptive, they're dynamic. Throw two teams into the mix of them, though. That's where they start to struggle. Very good on 2-on-2s, but with that third party, it's always looking like they're down bad a little bit. Pink and Nas as well, lost in the sauce in day number 2. Back here with a vengeance, looking to take on Mustache and Malabuka, it looks like.
I think the big from these guys is that it does only take one game for them to really get back into the mix, but they've had a rough couple. They obviously went down to Thomas and Tayson last game, and up against Malabuka and Mustache, that's not necessarily the easiest of matchups either.
But you're saying they went down to Thomas Tayson last game? I think Thomas also took down My Pet Dog, basically everyone that I know as well. He got like every single elimination available on the planet. This man was just shooting everything. You can honestly, the next duel on the screen, I guarantee, possibly, Thomas HD might have taken them down as well.
You wouldn't be wrong. Really, he went on a whole nother level. When you got Tayson tweeting that Thomas HD is the best player in the world, then you really know the kind of player you have on your hands. Bigging up his teammate after a huge last game.
It's not only that, right? Imagine you have to deal with a player that did what Thomas HD did, right? And you finally take him down. You get to breathe, and like the boss music gets faster, and Tayson shows up, right? You have to deal with Tayson as a phase 2, as a part 2. That is just, should that be allowed? Like, we gotta split this duo up or something, man. That's too much.
That's why, in theory, man, this duo, it just seems silly, right? In terms of just, you genuinely have 2 players who at any given moment over the past 2 years, you could argue is the best player in the world. And it's like, oh, okay, I've taken him down. Finally, it took me like everything I have and everything I ever will have for the past, 5 years. And then, boom, Tayson just walks through. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But again, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. They are still in a neck-and-neck battle against 2 top dogs. And Nasto, if he goes down here, maybe these guys will be completely out of the battle because at a certain point, you can't afford to just have too many bad games. They will get the elimination, though, and it keeps them in this one. But hopefully they can get themselves, sorry, out of the little slump they've been on the past couple games.
Pink and Nos were basically superheroes, and they had a weakness, right? It would be Vortexia Castery. Ever since that one game where they impeded the way they played on the mountain, they have clashed again and again, and it just seems like the control Pink and Nos had over the finals for Europe is just gone, vanished. A little bit of a spark and steam, and it's no longer available. Castery finally going down too, so yes, they take them down, but as Boop, Reese, and Zeke mentioned on the desk, it impedes their game. That butterfly effect comes in. They might not have a vehicle to use. They might not be in the same spot they're used to. They were fans of method in that first day. They were really looking forward to just playing their game plan out every game with slight alterations. This one early to mid game 111 it is really affecting.
Look at the contrast on your screens, right? Just a moment ago, right, we had the 2 POVs. On the left was Thomas and Tayson, who we see here below on Surge. And right in front of them, Queasy and Hen was the other team on the screen. These guys are above, and so they're running into their biggest rivals. This is huge in the context of FNCS. Tayson is down, and Thomas has done insane things as a solo. But Queasy and Hen, the top team that they're battling against, may be the one to take them out of this one completely, and that is massive. Thomas and Tayson go down early, and Queasy and Hen will be licking their lips. They will be smiling cheek to cheek because a good game here could be the difference between them having the Axe of Champions or not.
This is where nerves come into play. They know exactly what they just did, and they don't usually end up with this type of mid-game fights in the 3rd-ish zone. A lot of the Elams I've been watching in the feed have been that 4th to 5th rotation where they pick apart a lot of teams from Storm, right? But right now, first place tied coming into this game, and they themselves become the tiebreakers.
Mind absolutely blown right now.
Your eyes are out of your head. I'm seeing this on the camera.
This is crazy, man.
Out, man.
I can't. I don't know what's going on, man. They just always make it so funny.
Oh, no.
What's going on? Hands down?
I'm telling you, 5th game or 2nd last game Europe, this happens every time. Joe and Vino chasing this down. They're so bad on Surge right now, and they're knocking on the walls. Vino has to take this, but finally, Hen does break out a little bit. I'm not sure if Vino knows there's one on the left side or if he tried to escape. Yes, he did. They're just fully pushed into this. Surge is not really active right now, too, so time's not going to be on their side. Queasy's down again. Vino is going to get sprayed. Can he find the finish? That will be the worst thing possible. Queasy, 5 seconds left. He is gone and down. Vino still alive. Joe in the business. Both first-place teams who were tied are gone. Almost splintered. Hen, 40 HP with 3 big pots. All his mats being expended. This is basically a sign, a white flag being raised in the air. I basically surrender. There's no way I'm going to be out of this one. 11, how is this possible?
How many favors is Vino going to do Tayson? First, he leaves Covert Cavern, right? Allows them to have it on com. Now he's taking out Queasy and Hen. Oh my goodness, Vino. It is crazy how things are playing out. Shai, you warned me right before the game. You warned all of us. This is the kind of thing that happens in these second to last games in the EU every single time. And it doesn't fail to disappoint. But the question will be, does Hen really have a chance in this game? Because if he can just stay up as a solo, maybe that will nullify the effect, but it's going to be tough.
He alled in his mats, I feel like from a sign of frustration. I think he realized what's really going down. That being said, making just one box, it would have gotten sprayed as well. So using all those mats first off could be good. You want to know the reason I predicted Hen and Queasy though, Levin? I know you and Reese are rolling in. It was very statistical. For me, it was more so nostalgic, right? I'm thinking about watching duos way back in the day. The one man who would clutch, the duo that would look the most different. Anyone that had Hen on it. This man was the wonder child, right? I completely remember this narrative being spit by many analysts in the past. You know, that was just the wave. So I feel like if there is a solo clutch possible from the 6th zone, it's Hen. From the 4th, I'm not even sure if you give this man invincibility that it might be a chance, right? With the way this lobby's set up. This is gonna be tough.
No hard mats left either. Only wood in the inventory. Plenty of ammo, but not plenty of targets to pound it with. It's just gonna really be tough, man. At some point, someone's gonna spot him out. He knows there's a pad over there that you can use to get into zone a bit easier, but how easy? He's not actually gonna take it. The meat, no, fair play. He needs it, right? The meat will work wonders for him at this stage. Oh boy.
Whiplash, I'm trying to think how Hen's thinking right now. What can I actually do? And this thing is at 132 HP. He does find one of the pads. Remember, he's a solo, and look at that. All of EU under your feet. You're in first place as a solo, and the glide works behind a team. Solo Hen versus 2. He gets some damage down. He needs it. 126 above now, but that number is going to start to teeter and fall. 280. The new damage starts to clock in. This is dangerous for Hen. Remember, these guys are in a section of their own when it comes to Hen, Queasy, Thomas Tayson. 30 points ahead almost 40 to the rest of EU. They want to keep that gap active as much as possible. Obviously, Thomas and Tayson can't do that now, but as far as Hen, he is still in this game.
And as long as he stays in, that itself will be a positive. If they can just find any bit of separation going into that last game, it could be the difference. But Surge will come in, and that will mean that teams will start to get hungry, start sniffing out any solos that may be able to be capitalized on, and Hen's got to be careful.
Look at this position. Backside of the storm. Hen shot him maybe 2 times now for the backside. There's another duo. Hen is down.
E.
Girl, you fly and get up. you flying ghetto with them brand new high heels stilettos.
Just another day at the office.
Girl, you flying ghetto with them brand new high heel stilettos. Smell like rose petals. Heard you a rock star, heavy metal. Well, I'm a pop star. Let's get together. Ice your neck up, change the weather. She a hot one, like a pepper. And you fly, girl, shake your feathers. Girl, you fly.
I'm still with the I'm hot. Right foot creep, boom, walking with that